Hello, students at Clifford Academy, the Bog Schools, the school at Marygrove, and students all across the world. We hope you're excited for this makeup tutorial on basic makeup application. Also, a huge thank you to St. John's Episcopal Church, proud sponsors of Shakespeare STEAM Online.
Hey everyone, this is Teacher Reg with Shakespeare in Detroit, and today I'm doing a makeup tutorial to satisfy the arts pillar of the Shakespeare STEAM program. So I'm just going to be working with the simple products that you've already seen. For my makeup, generally for men or people playing men's roles, you want to try to create a very natural look, but because theaters have extremely bright lights, the oils in our skin can make us look very shiny. Also, if I'm, depending on the type of character I'm playing, I want to have either a more contoured look if I'm playing someone who's like maybe more sinister, or if I'm playing a character who's more heroic. I'm basically turning my natural human face into more of a distinct character, kind of like when you watch cartoons and characters have different shaped faces based on the type of character they are. So to start out, I'm just going to use a little foundation. I happen to be using a brand that's called Glamazon. The trick with foundation is you want to find the one that matches your skin the best, all right? I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand because at different times of the year, as you probably know, because of the amount of sun that you're exposed to, you may have more or less pigment in your skin. You may be more tan or not, right? So basically what I want to do is I want to find a foundation that when it's on, this is me blending it in. The idea is I want to be able to blend it in and it to pretty much be invisible once it's blended in. So taking a little bit of the foundation on my sponge here. So I'll show you again here. The idea is that it looks really natural. So a couple of things to consider. Before putting on my foundation, some people might do like a toner or something. They might put, you know, a little kind of like lotion or foundation. I'm not going to bother with any of that. My skin tends to be pretty oily, so I don't need to add any moisturizer. Another consideration is, say I have a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow and I'm playing a character that, you know, doesn't have a beard. This is a little bit of a corrective color. It's got a slightly orange tint, and it's what is used if I want to make my beard disappear before I start. And so I would apply that first, and as you can see, that's before and that's after. I would apply that first, and then I would go ahead and apply my foundation on top of that. All right? But since I'm not necessarily concerned with this, you know, I'm not doing any particular character, so I'm not going to worry about covering my beard, you know, doing a full cover. I don't want to waste the product. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on the back of my hand and add it to the sponge, and then just go ahead and cover my whole face. And the idea is you want to dab it on because, you know, your skin is, you know, it's pretty gentle. You don't want to just beat up your face. You just want to treat your skin correctly. I also try to use a slight up motion because I don't want to be dragging down on my skin. Gravity is already having enough of an effect on my skin, on my face, so I don't want to. So I'm just adding just foundation. Even up the skin tone. And you might notice that there are, parts of your skin that might be, you may have some blemishes, and you might want to just cover those up to give yourself a slightly more even skin tone. But I'm taking it pretty simple, keeping it really simple, keeping it light. You don't have to necessarily use a lot of product on your face to get the desired effect. So that's that. Once I've put on my foundation, what I might want to do is, like I said, I have a pretty round face, and that's cool. I like the way that I look in my daily life. But for the stage, I might want to, because those lights are so bright, I might just look, I want to bring out my features as much as possible. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the same sponge. I'm going to add a little bit of contour to my cheeks, and I'm going to use a cream contour. And I just happen to have this nice little palette of different shades. I'm going to use the darkest one. And again, you have to do everything based on your own skin tone. And I'm just going to go ahead and now it's really subtle, right? I don't want to make it, I don't want to look like I have big lines going down the side of my face. And I can use a little bit of I'll use a little bit of a powder to help bring this out a little bit later. I might do a little bit just to make sure that people can see the nose. I might do a little bit along the jawline too, just a little bit. I'm not trying to drastically change the shape of my face. And then what I can do next is, so that's the contour is where your cheeks go in, and then on the top of my cheeks, I'm just going to use I'm going to use this middle color here to create a little bit of a highlight. Now that's really light. And right now, I might feel like, whoa, that's pretty drastic. But again, I'm creating a very theatrical look, pretending that we're playing a really big theater, really big stage. I'm gonna put a little on the tip of my nose, a little on my chin, a little on my forehead. So I've just basically carving out the shape. And then a big part of makeup, doing makeup, is blending. Because when I'm done, I don't want any of these things to look super obvious. But I'm just giving myself a slightly more defined look to my face. getting a clean sponge here because I want to continue blending. A lot of times I won't even use a sponge. A lot of times I'll just use my fingers, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but sometimes you don't have a sponge, sometimes you're just trying to get the work done. So I'm just giving myself a little bit more of a defined look. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to start to kind of powder some of this down and get a better sense of what it's going to look like when it's finished. Your powder is like your foundation. You want to find the one that's going to match your skin the best. And I found that the products that I like to use the Ben Nye products are just typical theatrical products. And there's one shade, I believe it's Topaz, and then there's another shade called Banana. I could actually use either one of these, but I like to blend them together. For my skin, that tends to give me a better blend. And so I use this little container. There was some other powder in it. You can get a container that's empty if you want to. And I just mix them together. And then I'm just going to use this and lightly apply the powder over everything. And the powder helps to set, and remember, the reason that I'm powdering is because I've already achieved the blend that I want. So I don't want to really smudge things anymore. And so to keep everything the way I have it, I'm blotting instead of stroking it off. And I'm literally pressing the powder into the foundation. And so So we went from that really like, whoa, highlights, and so now it's a little more calmed down. And I'm going to, just because I want to have a slightly more defined cheekbones, I have this little contour powder that I'm going to use in combination, and that's going to really bring out I'm just going to very, very lightly. Add a little powder to the contour to give me a slightly more, I'm like a little more, and I'm just following the shape of my face. So I'm not really trying to change the shape of my face, I'm just trying to make the shape that exists more defined. Because like I said, when you're on the stage and those bright lights hit you, they kind of tend to wash you out, and your face will just be like a gigantic moon. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit going up here, just allow my eye sockets to be a little under my lip, a little under my chin. And I'm right now just kind of rubbing the brush on the puff to get a little bit of that out. so that I can then go in and do a little bit of kind of blending with everything. Because I'm not using a lot of powder, a lot of product on my brushes, I'm going to be able to just keep using the same. I'm just going to use the same brush. Again, if I was going for a really super theatrical look, I might use a lot of different brushes. So that's the general look. I'm gonna push this a little bit further for you all though today, because I want to go for a very theatrical look. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some eyeliner to this look. And you might notice that like my eyebrows aren't very defined. If my eyebrows are not defined under these lights that I'm sitting under, the makeup room lights, then they're really gonna disappear when I get on the stage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little. And again, this is a situation where you're gonna use and I'm just slightly, I'm actually running the pencil over my actual eyebrows. I'm not trying to get that much of it on my skin. I'm just trying to get my eyebrows to be slightly more filled in. Right. So that from the stage, I don't look like I look like I have eyebrows. Because from the stage, I could start to look like I don't have eyebrows if I don't add a little pencil to help bring them out. And again, I'm not changing the shape of my eyebrow. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm just trying to make the eyebrows that are there more present. And fortunately, I'm actually backstage in a real theater, and we can see, and because there are bright lights here, it gives me a sense of what I really need to do to be able to see. So now my eyebrows are a lot more present. And now I'm gonna do, this is like a trick for when you're working in really big theaters. Like right now, like my eyes aren't really, you can kind of see them, but I really want my eyes to be present. So what I do is I go in the corners. I do this on the outside. Just get it right there, and then I do the same thing on the inside. And looking at it here, use my sponge and just blend that just a little bit, but I don't want to blend it too much because the idea is I really want it to be defined. I really want my eyes to look, I really want the audience to be able to see my eyes, even if they're sitting, 40 rows away. So I think, as you can see, it's already starting to make my eyes look big. But then I'm going to add, and I happen to be using liquid Ben Nye, and I'm just going to add some eyeliner, and I'm going to start below my eye, like for, I think when people do their street makeup, they put the eyeliner actually on the inside of the eye. But for the stage, I want to make my eyes look bigger, so I'm going to go below And what I'm basically doing is I'm creating the illusion that my eye continues into the light. I'm using black because I want a stark effect. And I can do the same thing on the inside. Now even from far away, it will appear that my eyes are much larger. And that's basically there. And then what I would do is I would just kind of keep playing around. If I decided, oh, I want a little more contour, I can go in and add a little bit more contour. You know, I can make the look more dramatic if I'm, wanting to play a character that's, more gaunt. If I want to make my face look thinner, I can add, if I'm playing somebody who's like starving, or if I'm playing somebody who's older, I might want to make my face look a little bit bigger. And then what I tend to do is, after everything is over, I go in I get a little powder on my brush and I just go over everything. And give everything a little final blend. I haven't done really anything to my lips. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use a little lip liner. Just to outline my lips so that they're, again, very visible. So I've barely added any color to my actual lip. I just made a little bit of a line around them so that my mouth is just very visible. So that's it for this makeup tutorial. Again, this is I generally wouldn't go this far. I would probably not do as much contour. I would just add a foundation and powder it down. For most of the theater that I do, we play a lot of small houses. If you're playing an outdoor house, you might want to add a little bit more. Again, if you're playing a gigantic house with like 2,500 seats, you might want to do something so that your eyes really pop, so that you bring out the shape of your mouth. But that's a pretty basic theatrical makeup. From the audience, people might not even know that I was wearing makeup, even though my face looks very, very, very made up from close up. Again, from the audience, it'll look like I'm not wearing very much, or from the audience, the idea is not to look like I'm wearing makeup at all, but just to have all of my features really pop out and present. So that ends this lesson of Shakespeare STEAM. Make sure that you join our mailing list at shakespeareindetroit.com. You can like us on Facebook and Instagram at Shakespeare in Detroit, and you can like us on Twitter at Shakes in the D. Thanks so much.